Hi there, it's Katie again from University of Chester Sport and Active Lifestyle Department. In this video I'm going to demonstrate how to do a squat movement without any assistance. Okay, so in the previous video I mentioned how to perform a squat using a platform or a low chair. In this video we're not going to use any equipment at all, okay? So we're going to get right into it. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that our muscles are relatively warmed up before we perform this exercise. And then we just find a nice open space and we get into position correctly. So the first thing is making sure that the feet are somewhere in between hip and shoulder width apart, okay? Not too wide, not too narrow. And then from there, what we need to think about are the muscles that we're using predominantly. So in case of a squat, that would be quads and glutes, okay? There will also be some hamstring involvement as well, okay? But all of the concentration must be throughout the lower body, all right? So once you're happy with your foot position, what I like to do is I like to join my hands together in front of me. You can go like this, it's up to you, okay? And then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to initiate the movement from the hips. So you're going to do that little push back through the hips to engage the glutes straight away, okay? So we're going to do that little push back, we're going to flex the hips, bend the hips, and then the knees will follow. And what we're aiming to achieve is getting our thighs parallel to the floor, okay? So once we're down, it's about a 90-degree angle with the knees. We're going to come back up and repeat. So glutes switch on first, push back through the hips, knees will follow, thighs parallel to the floor, okay? A couple of things that you should be aware of is when you perform the squats is that you should feel most of the body weight going throughout the heels and the midfoot, okay? At no point should you feel any weight going onto your toes. And if that is the case, it's because you're leaning forwards too much. So everything needs to be pushed back through the hips, through the heels, okay? So from the sideways on, same sort of thing, so you're going to look straight ahead, join your hands together, okay? Feet between hip and shoulder width, push back through the hips first. So it's that little shift back to engage your glutes straight away, okay? So push back through the hips, knees will follow, thighs parallel to the floor, and come back up, okay? So what you don't want to do is you don't want to lean too far forwards with the torso, okay? All that's going to do is it's going to put the weight through the toes, so you're going to end up coming off your heels like this, okay? So the torso spine must remain neutral, just keep your head looking forwards. If it helps, you can always look at something slightly above, okay, so a little bit higher up than eye level. And that will just help to keep the spine nice and neutral and distribute the weight correctly, okay? So another little thing that you can also be aware of as well is just making sure that the knees stay behind the toes when you're down, okay? So they shouldn't be coming over the toes like this. Once again, it's like shifting the weight through the heels, keeping the knees behind the toes, okay? And come back up. One more thing for safety, obviously this exercise is quite strenuous on the knee joint, so we need to make sure as well that we're not collapsing our knees in when we go down. So it's really important to keep your knees strong, okay? If you do find that you are likely to sort of do that, then there are ways to correct it, so you can always get hold of a resistance band, put it around your thighs, and that way it provides resistance so that you push your knees out against the resistance band, okay? If you don't have a resistance band, you can always just use your imagination. You can pretend that you're wearing one. Alternatively, what you can do is pretend or imagine that you're pushing your knees out ever so slightly when you come down like this, okay? It's really important just to make sure that we're using the right muscles to perform this movement, okay? And we're not putting too much strain through our knees and ankles and things like that, okay? So that's how you perform a bodyweight squat or an air squat, okay? Just make sure that you keep yourself safe, and I will speak to you again soon.